Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name's Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
Yes, and I'm LouiLou, or Louis, and my pronouns are he and him, and I'm in recovery for crystal meth and alcohol, and I'm always in search of balance.
Balance. My name is Jordan, and I'm always the third wheel to this relationship.
Yeah, we need a new tagline.
I know we do.
I don't like that one.
You
That just
don't like
sounds
it?
so
Work on that.
sad.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
true, though.
No, it just feels like... I don't know. I don't
And
like
each
that.
week, you know what we do each week? We strive to foster a brave space where we can engage in conversation centered around topics of recovery.
And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues sometimes used to separate us.
Yes, but before we do that, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this episode.
And now the disclaimer: the thoughts and opinions expressed on At the CCC are ours alone. We do not represent anyone but ourselves. In other words, we're just a couple of friends behind a mic here to entertain you. And of course, everything we talk about is for general information purposes only.
Let me be the third wheel.
No, you're not a third wheel.
Yeah.
If you're the third wheel, we are a tricycle. And we move together.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like even a dog with 3 legs can walk.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's related actually. Without it. So what's...
I saw you rubbing that. What is
Is
it?
everyone's ADHD picking up all at the same time? Like, what the fuck just happened?
I was like, is this something special that I don't know about?
No, it's just,
No, it's his anxiety. Jordan's rubbing the, I don't know what that's called. It's
the roadcaster.
The roadcaster, yeah. Anywho, how's everyone doing?
Good.
All right, great.
Okay.
Well, before we started recording, we were talking about how can we make the most out of our time, and so we were talking about shortening like our little back and forth, get our check-ins, and so that's why Louis was so short. Louis, who apparently now introduces himself as Louis or Louis. Wait.
LouiLou.
No.
Well, no, what I find,
Louis.
I've listened back on, and
What are you
sometimes
yelling
some. Oop, wow. Okay. So I've listened back on sometimes, and it'll say Louis and whatever, and so I'm rebranding.
Yeah.
Initially, it started LouiLou, and that's my nickname, but I'm also.
It's okay.
Louis.
You can rebrand. I want you to grow. I want you to like really come into yourself.
Yeah. I want to come into you.
Oh God! We have a 5-minute rule. God damn it! A 5-minute rule. Jesus.
Absolutely. I'm here for you.
Yeah. What's up, Jordan?
What's today's topic?
Today's topic is sober but messy. But what do we mean by messy?
Yeah. What do we mean by messy?
We're talking about being like socially messy.
Socially messy,
Right? You might be spiritually grounded, but socially chaotic.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you socially chaotic, Jordan?
Am I?
Yeah, that was my question.
Am I the drama?
Is it me?
Am I
Is
the
it
problem?
me? Am I the?
Am I the villain? So go ahead.
I would like to think not, right? But I mean, I find myself in the middle of drama here and there.
Yeah. Like examples. I don't know.
Okay.
Examples.
For example.
For example. I was gonna try to do a Spanish accent, but I can't do it. So being socially messy is you didn't relapse, but you did send someone 7 angry voicemails, right? Or you may have accidentally trauma dumped on a first date, right? Or you inserted yourself into conflict that had nothing to do with you.
Oh God! Yeah.
And then you made it worse. Right? Right. So recovery doesn't necessarily fix your social calibration overnight.
I think I'm for me. I think I'm the messiest at work.
I agree with you.
I think I'm the messiest at work with as much as I have to catch myself because sometimes I'll be in it trauma dumping about something or whatever. And
Oh,
realize,
that's what you meant.
yeah. And then I realize I gotta pull back. I need to pull back. I don't need to be
That's so interesting.
giving people this drama because it's like once you at work, especially once you are designated that person, it's hard to break that. So I don't. Yeah.
What I thought you were going to say is that you find yourself being unforgiving at work.
Oh, I'm unforgiving as well.
Well, because I know you are you're a very organized person, and you don't like it when things deviate from like what your expectations are.
And it's been a struggle. The struggle was real because right now there's one person at work I'm not talking to because I'm like, my attitude is you're a grown ass man. I do not need to tiptoe around you, and there do not need to be fake like comic or like cartoon butterflies and stars and you know what, I'm going to tell you like it is, and my tone, it is very very monotone. It's like what am I supposed to be smiling while I say this shit to you? Mm-hmm. It's your job.
You feel triggered right now?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm all, can you tell?
You're like, the energy was just like shifted in this room. I feel like I need to go grab that fire extinguisher.
All day long, it's like I'm always ignoring him.
To put it in your butt so you'll shut up.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm getting punchy, guys. I'm getting punchy.
Now she's getting punchy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
So what happens, I think we could probably all relate to this, is we get sober and then suddenly we realize that we're still ourselves, right? Raw, unfiltered, without the kind of numbness that comes with like drinking or using,
Exactly.
and it all starts to boil up.
I'm much, to the things that you mentioned, it's like, especially in early recovery, like I do find that I appreciate that there are folks who come in those situations. I get to hear like the sides. I've gotten better at not inserting myself in, because there was a time where I would like, I'm going to make this better or not. I told myself I was going to make this better, but I was just creating more drama. What I want, or what I try to do, is like, depending on who's involved and how much what I feel about them, I don't want somebody going back and saying that I agreed or did this or whatever. So I usually just nod and shake my head and really appreciate the opportunity to hear what's going on.
Yeah. I think it can also, like, this is kind of is a little bit of a callback to our last episode, where people can mistake emotional intimacy for connection. Right. Like you may share something that's really vulnerable and like you get really tender with someone, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're connecting.
Really?
Well, yeah.
I think early on, because there are some people that, what I didn't mention in the last episode, I think that I have a really hard time with individuals who give so much without being mindful, and it's a form of manipulation, even if they don't know it is. But when they just like,
let me give you an
example. You
example.
give me too much before I deserve it.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is like, I'll speak from experience.
Okay.
Where I might meet a guy. This is definitely when I was drinking and using. I might meet a guy at a bar, and we'll go back to my place. And like sex is incredible, and like we're like talking about all these things, and like now we feel like that, like you're so high on dopamine and oxytocin, and now you feel like you're really connected with them. Like, oh, we have a real connection. But then what ends up happening is like actually that all starts to dissipate, right? A couple days or maybe a couple weeks go by, and you're like, oh, I actually don't know if I like this person, or that I ever had a connection with them. Right. So I think it's also, that can also happen in like friendship spaces where you might share a thing and it might feel like you're connecting, and there is a real emotional intimacy there, but that emotional intimacy isn't rooted in like a long-term connection, or just like a connection in general.
But isn't it okay if it's just a short-term connection? Like I mean, like I was listening to you with that. If I'm connecting in the moment, this is how I am. If I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it there. What happens beyond that? Because what's really super important for me is, how am I feeling? Am I feeling connected in this? Because I don't share. Share. If I don't feel like there's a connection, you're not the person I'm coming to connect with.
I get that. And what I'm suggesting here is,
I get that. He's punishing me.
I'm not punishing you.
Spank me,
I'm
Daddy.
just kind of
Spank me in that pink jacket. He looked like one of the pink ladies from Greece.
I'm wearing a really cute Vans pink windbreaker. I've only worn it once before, and it was for
I feel like you should have bowling shoes on with this.
Yeah. I think you should shut the fuck up. How's that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Don't do that.
And when I take that big hit, I'm going to blow it up your ass.
You're so generous.
I know. Nothing but the best.
Not in these times.
Messy.
Yeah. So messy. So I appreciate you bringing up what you have, because what I'm realizing is that what I said, I'm not saying it with a lot of nuance. What I am suggesting is that you can feel, like, feelings aren't facts.
Yeah.
So you can feel intimacy, but that doesn't mean that you have a connection.
Yeah.
It's the same way that, like, you could have sex with someone. And this is one of the things that can make sex difficult, is you can have sex with someone and you may feel bonded to that person, but in fact there's nothing outside of, like, the high or the physicality of the relationship that would, like, it can make that relationship last, right? So I'm not saying, I like your point about, like, being present. I think that is very important. But I'm not too sure that a lot of people get that, right? I'm not too sure that a lot of people get, yeah, we're having this moment right now, we're sharing this is really beautiful, but it might not be there tomorrow.
This is funny because we always go back to this. I think this is the distinct difference between how you and I approach relationships. Because I'm home. I have this egg timer here. And as soon as the sand wears out, that's when the connection's over and I'm leaving.
But this is part of a bigger thing, which is, like, the expectations that come from culture. Right? Like, that's something that took me a really long time to deal with, because in my culture, if you're having sex with someone, if you're, like, there's a sense of, like, loyalty, there's a sense of, like, responsibility for each other, right? Like, you aren't generally going to do anything like that without there being, like, an expectation of, like, closeness. I had to some degree unlearn some of that by living in the United States, by being a gay man that has occasionally dated white men, or who have dated other people who've been acculturated, right? Because, for example, I remember I was talking to my grandma, who's, like, old school Puerto Rican, and she was like, well, what are some of the things that bothered you about so-and-so? And I was like, well, like, every time we went out, he was, like, checking everyone out. Everywhere we went, he was checking everyone out. And she goes, oh no, you don't do that. You don't do that. Right. And anyone in my family, or anyone, like, if we share the same culture, everyone would say the same thing. You don't talk about your exes. You don't go checking people out. There's, like, when you're with your partner, you respect your partner. And, like, so, and so, yeah, there is that difference, right? Like, like that is a cultural phenomenon. It's a cultural phenomenon to set the egg timer.
I feel like that part, that's being thoughtful. I don't do that.
You're not thoughtful?
No, I'm thoughtful in the sense I don't, like, if you're completely, like, out of touch, it's like, then you're doing things like checking everybody else out, talking about your ex, or talking about things that aren't comfortable. Like, yeah, that's.
I once like hooked up with a guy who, oh, this was, like, a really shitty experience. I once hooked up with a guy who, right after we had sex, he opened up his Grindr and, like, started browsing, and I was like,
were you in your active addiction?
No.
Oh.
No, we were, like, we literally had sex, like, 3 times. And then he, like, then looked at his phone, and he was staying over the night. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And I told him, I was like, you don't owe me shit, but, like, you're literally in my bed and you're on Grindr. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then, like, he closed his phone up or whatever. And he goes, wow, jealous already? And I was like, bitch, like, no one's jealous. You know what I mean? I'm like, I have fucking self-respect.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole other fucking episode. And it's messy.
I know.
And it's messy.
It's really messy.
I was in that's messy. I haven't been, by the grace of God and recovery, I haven't found myself in that kind of situation in years.
Well, it kind of comes down to, like, okay, so
open this box of candy.
No. Well, if we remember, it kind of comes down to, like, okay, so first off, I need to know what my motives are for moving forward with anybody. If I'm wanting something that goes beyond just this physical,
That's real.
then I need to make sure that I am waiting before I do
That's
what
real.
I need to do.
That's
but if
real.
I'm hooking up with this person and thinking that it's going to become something else, then I mean, who's the asshole?
Oh, I love that,
Yeah.
Louis. Yeah, you're speaking to my heart because I think you were around when I had like that one situation with that guy and anyway, I have so many issues with so many guys.
I was around for most of them. That's
Yeah. I mean, let's be real, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have to have experience because I live vicariously through you.
Yeah, you know what, dude? And I feel like I'm getting to a point where I think I'm hoping. I have literally been praying for this, where I'm like, no, I need to stop doing this thing where like I'm finding myself in relationships. I just can't, like I feel like I'm a serial monogamous, you know, like I'm from one relationship to the another, or I always have like some guy in my life or something like that. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And I think part of it is like, I don't know. It's just like it alleviates my anxiety. It gives me something else to focus on. And what's happened is I've gotten to a point where I know it no longer works for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that,
You know what my thing is like?
yeah.
I have been single so long that, like, and I heard some comedians say, it's really hard to date somebody who's been single so long because they're used to, like, I'm not letting anybody in my space that's going to bring nonsense.
Mm-hmm. And I love nonsense.
I'm not no.
I love it, man.
There's fun nonsense and you know.
Bring me your broken wings.
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem right there.
No, I'm not going to do it anymore, guys. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not. I have been praying about this. I've been making
Maybe
it a
say
point.
I'm going to make an attempt not to, but saying it's so finite. I'm not going to do it anymore. It's like that is.
Listen,
that's so not realistic.
It's one day at a time. Honest to God, it's one day I have been approaching this the same way that I've approached my recovery.
That's a good idea.
And it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
So this is where we know where Messi shows up for Anthony.
100%.
Because you're like Jennifer Lopez. You want to be.
That's racist.
You love, don't you? You want. You love.
I guess I'm very passionate.
Yeah, I do.
That was supposed to be a Puerto Rican accent, and it turned out to be like British.
That's weird.
No, but I can appreciate that about folks. They want it, but I think that sometimes you want it so much that you kind of make exceptions, or you kind of like it. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yes, you do justify a lot of shit, but there's so much wrapped up in that for me. Like, I don't even. We don't have the time. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío. No, there's like so much wrapped up in that because, like, I love like those warm fuzzy feelings. Like I love cuddling up and like watching
they don't
a
last
movie.
long. It's like
But here I'm trying to be real about this. That I think what happens for me is like in the initial stuff is like it's a fucking drug. It's a drug.
Speaking of switching addictions, like our previous
100%.
this one here is like I'm all.
I was like, she's one to talk.
She's a rock star.
Yeah,
I'm one to talk.
you want to talk.
Tell me.
You tell me, bitch. It's your tea, not mine. You don't want me. I'm not that messy. I wouldn't spill your tea.
Oh my goodness. I mean, okay, so outside of that kind of messy, I think there's also a mess that happens in the fellowship.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like we talked about last episode.
Yeah,
right?
when you don't know how, when you, I don't know, when people try to find,
You run out of breath?
when people try to find what they need in the rooms or whatever, like they're acting on old behavior, hooking up with everybody in the rooms and all that. Now, mind you, I've seen, I want to say this, there have been some successful relationships. People do really well, whatever. But when you're not checking your motives, when you're not figuring out why you're doing whatever you're doing, you're just acting the way you were acting before. Like, go somewhere else and do this because this is supposed to be your safe space, you know? And the worst is when I see my friends hooking up, whatever. And sometimes you want to believe that it's genuine, that they're going to go for the long. You know what I don't do?
What don't you do?
I don't pick and choose after it. Once I know you guys, I know you guys.
Yeah, you told me that before.
Until you fuck me up, it's like until you do something to me. I'm not picking sides, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's good you don't pick sides. I actually had someone the other day say to me, Anthony, I want to let you know that I hung out. Not I hung out, but they were like, I want you to know that like like I was like talking to your ex the other day. You guys aren't even paying attention to me. Listeners, I am pouring my heart out here.
Jordan was so funny. He gave me a
Tweedledee and
like
Tweedledum.
My mom. It was like I was opening that candy and he gave me a look like.
Yeah. But anyway, I had this friend who was like, "Hey, I like talked to your ex the other day, and I just felt like I should tell you that." And I was like, "You don't have to tell me that." Right. Yeah, I was like,
"Shut the fuck up."
Yeah. Stop it. Mm-mm. Yeah, I was like, "You don't have to tell me that." Like, I
dredging up. It's like it's not necessary.
Yes,
it's very unnecessary. I don't need to hear it. Like, I don't like. I may not want to see him, but that doesn't mean I don't want him to have friends.
He's like, I want him to be alone.
No, and the same thing happened to me, right? Where it's just like, why? Like, I was staying in my own lane, and then this person wants to come in and throw a wrench in what's going on.
But that person, bless them. They're
right, but like you're saying, it's old behavior manifesting in a different way. You know, like, and I think what I'm learning about those certain folks.
Okay, we're eating candy right now. We're sorry, but it's late night, y'all. We stay up late.
Not that late. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is old behavior shows up in different ways, right? And so I need to recognize that that behavior is that their choice, right? And I don't have to participate in that messiness. I don't have to play in that sandbox if I don't want to.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I like learned that. But the thing is that I had to unlearn that. So going back to culture, there's some things we can take with us that work, and some things we should probably leave behind. So I grew up with, if my grandmother didn't like someone, no one in the fucking family better talk to that person.
That's exactly how my mom is.
Yeah,
too.
No one in the family, because if you talk to that person, you're dead to her. She doesn't want you in her house, and I had to unlearn that. I had to learn that like people can have separate relationships. I think the other kind of messy, and I'm curious if this has happened for you, probably not for you, Louis. But like when you find yourself like fighting with someone, but really it's out of fear, right? Like you're close friends with someone and like you either feel abandoned by them or like something gets kind of boiled up in that relationship. And so there's like a bit of sabotage that happens.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah, say more.
I've done it. Well, I think that like I have an addictive personality, surprise. And so growing up, I really, when you really like people, you want to be around them a lot.
Yeah.
But then they have other friends and they have those relationships. And I have sabotaged in a sense where it's like well, fine. If you don't want to hang out with me all the time and be my best friend all the time, you're not hanging out with me at all. Mm-hmm. Rather than what I do now, I enjoy the time that I have with you.
Yeah.
I'm upset because I see, thank God we didn't have social media then, but it was probably even worse because what you don't see.
Because you were writing on stone tablets?
Yeah. Right after I pulled them right from your ass. How about that,
huh? Sorry, go ahead. Well, you were like, it was really hard. Go ahead.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
you were there when Moses was writing the 10 Commandments. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, I've done it too. Well, you know what I was thinking of is like that one guy that I was talking to in the rooms. I don't think I'll ever fucking do that again. I've done it enough to where I'm like, that shit is not I have yet to meet someone where they've been together, they've broken up, and that it's been clean. I only know one couple, but like they don't even really talk to each other. So, but the point is that going back to what you were saying, Louis, is like I was interested in something more long-term with this person, and we fucked pretty early on. And then like I realized like, oh, that's what this guy wants from me, right? Like he wants to hook up. And then I got my feelings hurt because I realized at some point, like, and I just told him straight up, like we were talking, and I was like, hey, I don't think we're compatible, actually. We had just finished having dinner. He's like, do you think I should leave? And I was like, yeah, I think you should leave. And I was like really hurt. And now he's fucking engaged to be married. Yeah. But it's going back to like, if I knew that that's what I wanted, and if I knew that like hooking up or getting close in this kind of way would make that harder for me, like maybe I should have paused.
It's the irony is like the person that he's engaged to, they're perfect for each other.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Well, good for them. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to them. Yeah, I'm not mad about it. So messy. And then even with family.
So you know what's interesting?
No.
Okay, so I feel like
We're eating candy. We're candy.
No, but you know what's interesting? I feel like you know, in getting to be a better version of ourselves or showing up, you got to be a little messy.
Yep.
You got to be a little messy. You can't be afraid to be a little messy.
And I think that for me is my problem, right? Like I started therapy, right? And my therapist had said,
Yes, therapy.
yay, that
So good.
a trauma response for me is underreacting, right? So when in stressful situations, whatever crisis, I am more calm and collected.
That's crazy. I have noticed that in you, but
And so he was saying that that's more of a trauma response, right? Which makes sense. I never put that like 2 and 2 together, right? So like when all this stuff happens, I'm not able to say I'm pissed off. And and when I do, everybody and their mother knows, right? It's like a volcano, right? But I rarely act or react, which I think is how do I find that balance of like, I need to advocate for myself, set those boundaries, right? And let people know that like, either I'm happy or I'm not happy, whatever, without being totally messy and like doing, I don't know, shady shit.
Ratchet be on a world star.
yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. You did what? And I think what you're bringing up for me too is like messy doesn't necessarily mean bad, right? Like it normally means like there's a vulnerability there.
Yeah.
Right. There's something kind of unrefined, something that's trying. And that's where like the messiness comes from. Because I think to your point, Louis, is like, yeah, relationships can get messy, right? Like, in fact, I had a colleague recently say to me, if you aren't fighting sometimes in your relationship, like you should be a little curious about what's going on. Mm-hmm. There should be like, there is healthy conflict, like to have disagreements.
Like, you got to slap that bitch every.
Oh, no, we're not.
I'm kidding.
That's crazy.
I know, I'm sorry.
I can't even make that joke. My dissertation is literally on same-sex intimate partner violence.
God, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. I was like,
you should be sorry.
I'm being really messy right
Shame.
now.
Shame.
I'm being messy in favor of like a little humor. It's like,
No, I get it. Not every joke is funny. I get that. It was actually very funny. It was actually
being fucking shamed. It's like,
but you know, we've talked about this in kind of different ways, but many of us growing up didn't learn what healthy relationships look like or what like healthy social behavior is like.
I don't know.
And I think that's especially true for like queer folks who had to like do a lot of like code switching and like masking and like all these different kind of behaviors and adapting in order to survive, where like they never really got to get in touch with like what's authentically theirs. And so I think like social sobriety, which is essentially what we're talking about, takes time to like unlearn like performing in certain spaces and like understanding how we're feeling.
Yeah. And I think, I forget, maybe it was Fighting Fellowship, but I think there was the keynote speaker and he said it's better to be messy in the rooms than outside the rooms. You know, which
Sure, maybe.
I think so.
I mean, okay.
Well, messy around other people who are, messy around people who get it, who are maybe going to help you kind of steer you the right way. Because there are some settings that are not safe where they will just let you be. Mm-hmm. They won't, there's no room for growth because they're going to just, or around people where that's like socially acceptable. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
I once heard this guy say, I don't know where.
Get out my bed, bitch.
Stop stealing my shit.
Why are you get all sassy? Why are you sounding like white people when they try to
Do black voice? Oh, I don't know. Stop stealing my shit.
Stop stealing my shit.
That's so problematic.
We are problematic.
I know. I'm getting there. God.
No, I told you this one here is like I'm all finally. Let's go.
So you're so loud. Okay, listen.
What's the point you want to make?
What is it that you just said?
What is the point that you want to make?
The point that I'm wanting to make is not my point, but it's a great point that I heard. And someone had asked this man, he was like some like thinker, and like, what is the ideal partner? What does the ideal partner look like? And his response was, the ideal partner is someone who says, I'm imperfect, but I'm working on those imperfections, and I know that you're imperfect, and like I accept your imperfections. But the idea is to have two people who realize they're imperfect and are doing what they can to kind of like show up as their best self, right? Because I think when we can do that with people, either a romantic relationship, our family, or anything like that, like there's something about someone just saying like, hey, yeah, like I know I don't have everything figured out, and sometimes I feel this way, and but that doesn't mean that we're a doormat either, right? It doesn't mean that like people can spill all over us to the point where it's like abusive or not protective or
Well, hopefully that does.
life-giving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Any final thoughts? I was killing some time, so Louis.
Exactly. So the Castro Country Club right now doesn't feel safe.
You're drunk, aren't you?
The Castro Country Club
You're drunk,
is a
aren't
safe
you?
and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
We provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
Our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
Check out new episodes every Monday.
All right.
Make good choices.
We love you.